this is how I would set up an affiliate CRM. So if you are looking to get affiliates for your product or service and want to manage the process of getting affiliates and then tracking their performance, this video is for you. I explain exactly how to do all of that inside of Monday.com. By the way, if you'd like us to help you set up Monday.com for your business, check out the link in the description below. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm inside of our Monday.com system. Now, this is, of course, our example system. In today's video, we're going to build an affiliate pipeline. So the acquisition of affiliates for your product or service, so they can then go out and promote your product or service and then tracking their performance against the deals that they bring you, the revenue that they generate, and whether this particular source or that source or this type of affiliate or that type of affiliate performs better. Okay, cool. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and create our first board. Now, I'm going to keep this pretty simple. There's an argument to say that you could build this out as the elaborate type of CRM system you would use for your traditional sales process, but I just don't think it's that necessary. Affiliates are going to be pretty simple to manage, I think. There's not going to be repeat purchases. Once they're onboarded, they're onboarded. You just need to manage their performance. So I'm going to create an affiliate process, if I can spell that correctly, process. This is the acquisition of affiliates, and this is where we would manage reaching out to a potential affiliate, then, you know, going through the contract process and then actually them becoming an affiliate, whatever that might look like for you. So privacy options I'll leave as main. The naming I'm just going to call affiliates, I guess. And then we can go ahead and create board. So I'm going to set up a few steps of the process. Again, this is likely to be unique to you and your organization, but this should give you an idea as to how I would think through things anyway. So we'd have potential or prospective affiliates, as in they are people that you are wanting to reach out to or might be worth communicating with. So you can have a form internally where people submit via the form an affiliate suggestion. So, oh, this person might be good to have a conversation with. We would then have, let's say, active or working active affiliates. That's not to say that they are live with you. So they're not actually affiliates yet. You're just working them. So be careful with the terminology here. Again, my suggestions are not going to be perfect, but we've got prospective, we've got affiliates, we've got prospective affiliates, active, as in we're working them. We then might have, let's say, you might have meeting scheduled affiliates or met, or I don't know. Let me think about this. So prospective, as in we've not spoken to them yet. Active being that we're actively working on them. We could go in contract affiliates, because I suspect there's stuff that you would need them to sign up to in order to get access. And then we would have one affiliate. So we are very much treating like this like a conversion system. And then we would have lost affiliates, so people that weren't interested in you. Sounds horrible. Didn't want to promote your product. So that might sound a little bit better. So lost, obviously, in the red. One is in the green. In contract, we could put in whatever color. Let's go with the blue. So we'd have prospective, active, in contract, one, and then lost. Again, your process can be the same. The only contingency to all of that is you do have the won and lost conversion means. So you know, out of 100 affiliates or prospective affiliates, and I talk to 100 people, I'm going to convert 20% of those people. Because what we're going to do in this video is set up reporting. It'd be good to be able to see 20% conversion. Then let's say we look at another 10% activation, so they actually start promoting your products. And then we can find who and why they're the best performers, like who's doing the best for you, why are they doing the best for you, is there a particular source that they're coming from, is there a particular type of affiliate that they are. So we're going to set up those data points now. So before we get into that, however, before I run ahead, let's just make sure that our status options match the grouping. So prospective, and then we go active, and then we would go in contract as an example, and then we would have lost up the top here. Cool. So prospective, active, in contract, and then I'll just change that. And then won or lost. Fantastic. I'll just hide the column summary there. So now we have the different stages of our affiliate process. The next basic thing that we're going to look to do is just utilize this date column. So this one we've already got. I would change this to date created and then just restrict the column editing on here. Then I would add another date column, and this would be date closed. So this is the day in which the affiliate was added to your system. The date closed is the date in which they were either won or lost. And then we're going to look at an average time to close via a formula column. Again, this is just helpful for reporting purposes. So we know how long does it take on average to get a new affiliate into the business. So we would say, give me the difference in days between date created and date closed, and hit enter. So that should give us the correct formula, which it has done. So I'll just call this TTC, so time to close, and then I can go ahead and hide the column summary and restrict the column editing. So now we have the absolute basics, the basics. So this is a very simple CRM system of sorts. You'll probably notice as well, we set this up in work management. It doesn't matter too much apart from emails and activities, but I might demonstrate that later in the video. So now what we want to look at is data points to manage our affiliate. So as an example, we would use, let's say, a drop-down menu. This drop-down menu would be their channels. So be careful with not getting confused between your data points and their data points. But their channels might be that they have a YouTube audience, they have an Instagram audience, they could have any type of audience. So what channels could they potentially be promoting your product on? So you can add as many as you want. The only two that come to mind here are YouTube and Instagram. I mean, Facebook, Reddit. What else do people post on? TikTok's a big one. yeah. So you've got options, right? Okay. So then we can also look at the, let's say, audience size. So this is quite a common one. So you would want to have a numbers column, and this would be total audience size. If this is kind of the affiliate avenue that you're going down, if it's nothing to do with social media at all, then this might not be so relevant. If it's just another business that refers you work, there we go. So you could say 150,000 is their total audience size, or you could track, because I know followers are a vanity metric, you might want to look at past 90 days engagement or something like that. If you can calculate that, then that might be worth doing. But this would be, let's say, total audience size. You might also, let's say, have a type of business, a business type. So what do they do? And this is, again, going to be unique to your business and who could potentially be referring you work. So again, I can only make suggestions off the top of my head, and it can't be specific to what you do. But as an example, we might get referred work from existing customers. Okay. And let's say that we have an existing customer that refers us loads of work. We then decide to make them an affiliate because they do a fantastic job. Who else might refer us work? I mean, Chat's going to say ChatGPT, but I don't think he wants payment. You get the idea, right? If it's not social media related, then it's just tracking business type. So if you're, let's say, a chiropractor, as an example, a physiotherapist might refer you work. A sports masseuse might also refer you work. A GP or a private GP practice might refer you work as well. So now you know that you could go and talk to loads of other physios in your local area and tell them that this is a service that you offer, and that you would pay them X amount of money per lead or per deal that they bring you. Same applies to the sports masseuse or whatever the case may be. You get the idea, right? So being able to delineate between the business type will really help us with our reporting, because we might find that the physios and the sports masseuse people, they're really good. They bring us leads, but not many of the deals convert. However, the GPs, the private GPs, they convert really, really well. So food for thought there. But you want to track that data point. I'm going to just put, let's say, physio. I don't know. I'm making this up now. I don't think a physio is going to be referring me monday.com work. That's something's gone horribly wrong. So I'm just trying to think what other data points that you're going to want to look at. You could have, I mean, the basic stuff that we're going to need on here anyway, because we're not going to use contacts board. You're going to need a name. You'll need an email address and a phone number. So name, email, and also a phone. Cool. So this is just going to be the point of contact for this particular affiliate. You may need a files column. You may not need a files column. Let's just have a look what else I would probably add on here as well. Don't think there's anything. I mean, the problem is this very dependent on you as a business and what you're looking to manage. The channels, the total audience size, the business type, you could add the source, let's say the source of where you found them. So did you find them on Google? What, like, think of this as very much, it is a sales process. You're just, as opposed to going directly to your buyer, you're going business to business to your buyer. So you still have to, you're essentially recruiting an army of salespeople. So you might have found them on Google. Let's say, I don't know, ChatGPT seems to be a big one these days. I don't know. It could be any source that you've gone ahead and found this particular affiliate. You could have been referred. I don't know why I deleted those. There we go. Referred. There we go. Cool. Making this up. So ChatGPT, Google, people could have referred you over. You kind of get the idea, right? So we've got the data points that you want to track for your affiliate. We've then got the data points that you want to track on where they came from, kind of who they are, performance metrics. Then we just want to set up some automation so they move through the various stages of the process. So I go to automate, top right hand corner, manage, and then create automation. And I'll say when status changes to prospective, move item to group prospective. Awesome. And we're just going to have to do this for every single one, unfortunately. So create automation again, when status changes to active, move item to group active, create automation. And then again, when status changes to in contract, move item to group in contract. Again, if it was contract, you could automatically send the DocuSign via integrations. You could get fancy with a lot of that stuff. But again, we're keeping it simple for the time being, just to give you an idea. So when status changes to 1, move item to group 1. The other thing that you want to make sure you do here is set date, and then set date 1 to today, so, or date closed to today. And we're going to do exactly the same for the closed lost as well. So when status changes to lost, so create automation, when status changes to lost, move item to group lost, and also set date closed to today. Create automation. Fantastic. Nice. There we go. So that's the basics there. So if we change the status, it will move through the various groupings. What I would then look to do, so this is just our sales process, okay? You can assign different people, different affiliates to be working on. You can track the communication and the updates. If you wanted to, you could also manage this in Monday Sales CRM. In fact, we could just move it over to Monday Sales CRM. Let's do that now. So you can see I've just moved it across. I'm just gonna delete all of this stuff that I don't need, just to keep this super clean, because otherwise it just gets confusing, right? It's another CRM system I think I built for another video. So delete. There we go. So now we've got our affiliate process. The reason I've moved it over is we can now click in and we can add in the item card, and on the item card we can go ahead, 3-dotted button, edit layout and content, and we can add in your deal stages. So this is obviously your affiliate stages. You can go ahead and add in as well, more importantly, emails and activities. So if you are liaising back and forth with your affiliate, you'll be able to manage all of the communication, or prospective affiliate, should I say, you'll be able to manage all of the communication directly from within monday.com, which is always quite helpful. So we go ahead and press done. We can then close this down. So now we can email back and forth. That's available in Sales CRM, not Work Management, so just bear that in mind. So now we have our affiliate process moved over. We've obviously set it up in a simple way, but hopefully it gives you an idea as to what's possible. The next thing that I'm going to want to look at is then the actual management of affiliates when they've actually become an affiliate, right? So we're going to create a new board for this, and I'm just going to call this affiliates. Okay, we might want to adjust the naming convention of the affiliate process board, whatever. But then in this board, we're going to keep everything the same. So privacy options, main. Select what we're managing in this board. In this case, going to be affiliates. Again, keep it the same. Create board. Now, the purpose of this board here is to onboard an affiliate. There'll be an onboarding process, I'm guessing, of some description or another. Then they will be active. And for as long as they are active, we will be able to track their performance, and then they could become inactive. So I think there are 3 different stages. So onboarding, stage 1, affiliates. We would then have active affiliates, affiliates, and then we would have inactive affiliates. So these are people that have signed up and then just stopped selling your product, which happens a lot. So inactive can go in the red, active can be in the green, and then onboarding can be in the gray. So those are the 3 stages. So we work through the sales process, prospective to active, in contract, then they convert, they're won. Great, amazing. Then a new record is created on the affiliates board. They are all of the data points pull across, the onboarding affiliates, they're straight into here. And then we go through the onboarding process, and then we get them as an active affiliate, and then we can start associating our affiliates with our deals board. And I'll show you that in a moment. So we've got our different stages, and then we just want our status options to match. So onboarding, active, and then we would have inactive, and then I'll drop that down there. Then I can go ahead and delete that. Awesome. So onboarding, active, inactive, just hide the column summary here. And then the basic data points again. So date created, date in which this affiliate was added to the system. So restrict the column editing there. And then let's add another date column. And this is going to be, I don't know, date. You could track date in which it goes active, or you could track date in which it's inactive. They may never go inactive, or you could track time. Time difference between onboarding to active might be a good one. So date active. So on average, how long does it take to activate an affiliate? I'll get rid of, I'll move this files column for the time being. Then we might just add another date column, and this would be date inactive. So date inactive. The nice thing about that actually is we could track the average amount of time an affiliate is active with us, which is quite cool. So I'll go formula again. Then we want date difference in time between date created and date active. Difference in days between date created and date active. I'm so glad these AI assistant stuff exists now. It makes life a lot easier. So this is TTA, time to activate. And then again, hide the column summary, restrict the column editing on here. And then I would add another formula column. And this data point would probably be the date created to, or date. You could look at date created to date active, or date active to date inactive. So probably difference in days between date active and date inactive. Hit enter. The reason being, we would want to then be looking at, so this would be TTI, time to inactive, hide column summary, again, restrict the column editing, and then I would restrict the column editing for these 3 as well. So now we've got some reports or data points that we can use in reports to see exactly what's going on, again, manage our affiliate process a lot better. So the next thing that we're going to look to do is just automate this, again, just the basics. So create automation when status changes to onboarding, move item to group onboarding. Awesome, nice and easy. Then we go when status changes to active, move item to group active, and also we need to make sure that we set the date active, set date active to today. Fantastic. And then finally, when status changes to inactive, move item to group inactive, and set date inactive to today. Cool. And then what we just finally want to make sure we do is when item created, set date to today as well, because I don't think we have that yet. Let me just check. Yeah, we don't. So when item created, set date created to today. Fantastic. Nice. So that is pretty simple. So now our basic onboarding process is tracking all of the data points that we need. So now we're going to want to go ahead and add the data points that we have on the affiliate process onto the affiliates board. So we had a drop down, which was channels. Again, it's going to depend on you and your business. We then had another one, which was, what was it? A status. I think that was business type. I think we had audience size, if I recall correctly, although I'm going to have to double check this in a minute. Audience size. We then had obviously name, so text. There we go. So name, email, and phone. Name, email, and then phone. Awesome. Add those in. And then I think that was pretty much everything. So channels, business type, Audience size, I'm just going to hide the column summary on these. I find it annoying. Hide the column summary. Name. Oh, there we go. Name, email, and then phone. What else do we have on here? Business type, name, email, phone, and then the source as well. It's obviously what we want. Status. Again, these data points are going to very much vary for your business. I say that many times, but the principle still applies. You've got two different boards, one to manage the sales process, one to manage the onboarding and then activation of your affiliates. And then once they're active, we can look at their performance. Now, when it comes to onboarding, there might be a number of things that you need to do every single time you're onboarding an affiliate. So what I would do is utilize sub items. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, but you'd have to do, let's say doing and then done for your different stages of the sub item process. Sub items, if you don't know, can be activated by hovering over the left hand side of the name of any item. So you can see here, and then you can add sub items, assign an owner, status, a date. You can also add any other column that you would on the main table as well. So this could be, let's say, a description. And then what we can do is we go to automate, and we can say when an item is created. So create automation. When an item is created, then we could create a series of sub items, which would be the onboarding process. So it might be, let's say, generate unique link, because they might need a unique link. They might need an account as well. So generate tracking account or affiliate account. Affiliate account. You get the idea, right? So every time a new affiliate is added to the system, then there's a series of sub items that are created. They can then also just be assigned to people, like you saw a moment ago, automatically, and then they can be completed by the people that have been assigned the task to do. So now what I want to look at is I want to look at the connection between affiliates and deals. Now, earlier in the video, I foolishly deleted a load of boards, but I'm going to go ahead and retrieve one quickly. So I've added back our deals board. Now, this deals board is unbelievably simple. In all fairness, I could have just recreated this from scratch, right? But what we're going to have here is I'm just going to add a numbers column. I mean, it's hard to believe that this was what I was demoing. I think it was something entirely different. And then we're going to call this amount. So this is the world's most basic, or I mean, the basic doesn't even begin to describe how bad this is, but the idea being that we've got one and we've got qualified status, and then we have a value associated with the deal. So it could be 50,000, again, whatever currency that you're working in. Imagine we're in the dollar, for example. So now what I want to be able to track is deals associated with a particular affiliate. So all I need to do is press the plus button and then connect boards. And then I need to connect my deals board to my affiliates board and create a two-way connection. Make sure you select affiliates, not the affiliate sales process. Okay. So then I can see, and it would just be singular, the affiliate associated with this particular deal. So customize, just make sure it's allow linking to multiple items is unselected. And then the only other thing that I'm going to want to do here is I've got an amount, and then I want to add a formula column, and I want to tell Monday.com to only show me the amount where the status is equal to 1. So only show me the amount where the status equals 1. Hit enter. So now what this is going to allow me to do is track affiliate performance. So we go one value. Okay. And then again, I'm just going to hide the column summary on here and then restrict the column editing. Cool. So there we go. So now if I change the status to 1, it will show me the value. As you can see, if the status is not 1, it doesn't show me the value. So that's quite simple. So now if I go to my affiliates process, and I can see here that there's now a connection column because we link two-way to the deals associated with this particular affiliate. What I can then do is I can mirror over the two critical values that I want to see against all of the deals associated with this affiliate. First and foremost, I want to see the total amount of revenue that they'd introduced to us. So total revenue, or total, so actually it'd be total deal size. And then what I would want to add again is another mirror column, but this time I just want to see the total one amount. So total deal amount, and then I change the naming convention so it makes sense. So we've got total one amount. So we've got total one amount, total deal amount. So I can see all of the deals that they've introduced to us. And if I just go ahead and connect that to deal number 3, let's add in another deal. So example deal number 1, hit enter. Let's put this as 60,000. And then I'll associate this with our affiliate, or at least I do it from the other side. So let's imagine that they have also introduced us to that one there. So we've got total deal amount of 110,000. However, I'm just going to customize this, or actually I'm just going to show the column summary so I can add a currency here. So it makes a bit more sense. There we go. Cool. And then I will hide the column summary. Fantastic. So now I can see that this particular affiliate has introduced us to $110,000 worth of deals, and we've actually closed $50,000 worth of deals from this particular affiliate, all by using the amount column and then just a formula column to only show the amount where the value or the status of the deal is equal to 1. Okay. So now we can begin to look at, well, is this particular affiliate performing better or worse based on this particular source or this particular business type or this particular channel. So hopefully you're starting to get the idea, and it's very easy from a deal side to associate with a particular affiliate. So if this affiliate is called, let's just choose this one, right? Nick Boardman. Very simple. So then I'm on my deals board, I add a new deal. So this is example deal number 2, hit enter, and then I can associate this deal with Nick Boardman because Nick Boardman introduced us to this particular deal. Okay, so we've got all of that information. Now the final thing that I want to show you is just converting an affiliate process to an affiliate. So on the affiliates process board, I'll go to automate, and then when status changes to 1, then I would create item in board. What you could even do is look to and connect boards, and then that would pull over the activity data. That's actually not a bad idea. So I'm just going to create a connect boards column between the affiliate process and the affiliates board, and then make sure you just press create two-way connection. And this would only be used if this affiliate is converted into, or this prospective affiliate is converted into an affiliate. And then I'll go to automations, and then when status changes to 1, it'd be create item in board and connect boards. And then the board we're creating the item in is the affiliates board. The item, we're going to map the different data points. It seems as if a lot of these are already mapped over because we got the correct naming convention. The only one that I didn't was total audience size. And then we connect the affiliate process with the affiliates and then press update automation. So now what's going to happen is when an affiliate is closed as 1, so a new affiliate's 1, it's going to then, where I'll show you, automatically create a new item on the affiliates board. So that's going to move to the group, and then it's going to create a connection. And it should move to the group, hopefully. Is it going to do that? And then we should see a new item on this board here. But for whatever reason, oh, there we go. Just taking its sweet time. There we go. So now you can see that that data point is mapped across. There is an issue here in the sense that the status is mapped over. So I would then just go to automate, and then the item, the data point status, I don't want to map over. So I would just remove that and just press update automation. Okay. So then though the process works in the sense that when an affiliate is then 1, it then creates a new item on the affiliate process board. I'm just going to change this to onboarding. There we go. And then I can go ahead and delete this status. That was a mistake on my part. And you can also see that the sub items have automatically populated now that a new item has been created on this board here. And then ultimately you want to get them into the active affiliates as quickly as possible by completing all of the different status options here. So obviously this is done, and then this is done. So now our affiliate is good to go. We can also show the summary on the parent item as well of the status of the onboarding based on the sub items associated with that particular affiliate. So I can see now that this is all done. So now I can change the status to active, and now I have 2 active affiliates, and all of the data points of course are pulled over from the affiliates process onto the affiliates board. Very, very easy. And then we can begin to associate deals with this particular affiliate record, and then you can track their performance, and then you would obviously look to report on that information as well. I'm not going to go into the reporting in this video as I've rambled on long enough, but hopefully this has given you a good idea as to how to set up an affiliates sales process and then manage the affiliates thereafter. I appreciate it's quite long-winded. It's also a simplified build. This can be massively expanded upon, as I'm sure you can imagine. There's a lot of nuance to this depending on you, your business, what you do, how you generate affiliates, and what you need to manage essentially. But again, we can then report on a lot of this information, both on the affiliate process and the affiliates board. I might just do a separate video on that entirely. Needless to say, thank you ever so much for watching. Hopefully this video has been helpful. If you do need any help setting up monday.com for your business, check out the link in the description below. We would love to help. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.